Now that the LEGO Mos Eisley Cantina is retired, it marks the end of production of all LEGO Star Wars sets released in 2020. This is the second set released in the Master Builder series, soon to be replaced by what everyone online is saying is the Ewok Village. Now that it's been 5 years, with the introduction of a ton of new Star Wars sets with new minifigure molds, updated play features, and model stability, how does this set hold up? Is it as good as everyone remembers? Is it too late to buy this set? Let's find out. Numbered 75290, this set, recommended for ages 18 plus, comes with 3,187 pieces including a whopping 21 minifigures, with 9 unique to the set. The Cantina, straight out of A New Hope, retailed for $600 Australian dollars or $350 US. And at the time of recording, you can find it on Amazon for $875 Australian dollars or $545 US. A significant $200 cost bump post-retirement. Some really nice box art on this set, with the back showing the dimensions, the Who Shot First scene displayed in real and LEGO form, as well as some other details. Opening up the box, we have some bags and another box, Boxception. Outside the box, we have bags numbered 10 to 18. Inside the box are bags numbered 1 to 9 with a loose unnumbered bag and the dewback mold, as well as a cardboard sleeve for the stickers. I got an apology note for the plastic instead of paper packaging, and finally a really well done instruction manual with a scannable QR code for insider points. The manual has some info in the first few pages, and fun facts throughout the build process, which I won't spoil because there's something you have to experience for yourself. Shooting through a look at each bag, at least one figure comes in each. Let's take a look at them all. The figures are where I see the cost bump coming into play, because whilst there are a lot of reuses and underwhelming figures, there are quite a few unique and awesome figures bumping up this set's cost post-retirement. Starting with the figures that haven't aged well, C-3PO and R2-D2 fit into this category. Whilst these figures are adequate, they don't hold up to versions we see present day, with the absence of R2-D2's back printing and C-3PO's silver dual-molded leg. Another figure that's really lacking is Han Solo. This figure does not hold up, with no dual mold for the legs, even though he had black boots going up to his knees in A New Hope. The perfect opportunity for a dark blue to black dual mold. Han Solo had a dual mold in the previous Master Builder series Cloud City set. That figure had side leg printing too. No idea why LEGO took that standard for Han Solo and gave us this. I'd like to say this figure gets better as you go up, but I'd be lying, because what is that skin tone? I'm pretty sure Harrison Ford didn't layer 5 bottles of sunscreen on his upper chest before filming. The colour contrast between this and his face is crazy. Speaking of faces, this figure has 2 expressions. Both are fine, I guess. Moving on, Obi-Wan Kenobi is pretty average. This might be the last Obi-Wan figure to not have leg printing, but you'll have to fact check me on that. Only one face print. I like the cape, although it's the hard material that might misshape over time. This figure is fine, although I don't think it holds up that well present day. Dr. Cornelius Everson has a great face print, with 2 really great expressions. I'm fine with the fact there's no leg printing, but this figure falls apart at the torso, suffering from the same problem as Han Solo. Wooher, the bartender's torso, isn't as bad as Han Solo's or Everson's. With 2 facial expressions, this figure is the same standard figure seen in set 75205. This figure is pretty boring, but I'd also say it fits into the next category of figures in this set, standard figures. These figures are not unique to this set, but still hold up to today's standards. Luke is great, with both a grinning and downbeat facial expression. This figure does not suffer from the discoloration on the upper torso at all. Whilst a decent figure with leg printing, this figure could have easily been taken up a notch with an accurate white to tan dual mold on the legs. Next up we have Chewbacca. If I had a penny for every set this exact figure came in, I'd have 18 pennies. This figure is great as always, with his bowcaster accessory and a good bit of printing. A simple bit of arm printing would go a long way here, but this figure definitely holds up to today's standards, because we're still getting this figure in present day sets. This set would not be complete without Greedo, looking the exact same as he did in 2018. Very good. This figure definitely holds up today with a head mold and leg printing, but this figure could have had more in this set. Arm printing or side leg printing to capture that stripe pattern would make this figure be a standout in this set, which I think is what this figure should be. It's one of the more iconic aliens who Han Solo has an iconic moment in the cantina with. He should be a standout figure, but he's just standard. The Jawa is the final standard figure in my opinion. He's been in 4 other sets and is a good enough figure, with the basic torso print and old megaphone blaster accessory. There are some figures that I think hit the spot, but don't contribute that much to the set's post-retirement price bump. Let's take a look at them. The three Biff musicians hit the spot with that perfect head mold. They're all identical besides their instruments. Whilst I would have loved to get all 7 of the band members for the modal nodes, I think 3 is the perfect amount here. Their identical torso prints, lack of leg prints, and non-exclusivity are pushing them back awfully close to the last category though. Hachek Kalfas, whilst a horrible name to try pronounce, is a really cool minifigure. The same species as the iconic bounty hunter Bosk. This figure has a basic torso print with gunmetal grey pants, which is quite nice. Due to the colour swap and no new mould, I don't see this figure aiding in this set's price bump. Kabe is captured well in minifigure form, making me feel uncomfortable with that face print. The massive nose and large eyes. The baddies look good. This mould is a reuse from the DC Man-Bat minifigure, and this figure has a satisfying white and dark orange colour scheme. The torso print is also quite detailed, with a fair amount of pockets and pouches. The 2 sand troopers look awesome. They share the same sand-speckled legs, torso, helmet, blaster and white macro binocular accessory, and black backpack, with a nice splash of sand blue. The helmet can turn left and right due to the backpack pushing the head upwards. This upgrades the figure tremendously in my opinion. The only thing I dislike about the new helmet is the inability to turn it sideways without it being loose. But this fixes that problem whilst not taking anything away from the figure. They both differ in their faceprint underneath and cloth pauldron, signifying their rank. So the orange pauldron is for the Sand Trooper squad leader and the black pauldron is for the regular Sand Trooper. Whilst Sand Troopers aren't really an army buildable figure, I would love to have a small battalion of these. The reason these 2 figures didn't make it to the next category is because these figures aren't really unique to this set. Finally, these figures are the best in this set, and I believe they're the ones contributing to the price bump. These figures easily hold up 5 years later. Let's take a look at them. Here we have Kardu Sai Malik, who goes by the alias Labria. This Deveronian is captured pretty much perfectly. If LEGO were to add a leg print, I have no idea what they would have done because the character pretty much just wears black pants and black boots. The torso print is accurate with the scarf and belt. The head is what gets this figure into this category, with a new mould for the ears and horns. What jumped out to me about this mould is the way it feels. It feels different, quite weird and kind of rubbery, which, whilst odd, works really well. This figure has a dual-sided head print, which I don't think was really needed. The mouth of the opposite expression pokes through on the back, which is a slight downside. Next up is Momornodon, aka Hammerhead. I guess Sig Griebling wasn't wrong. This head mold isn't unique to this set, but it's nonetheless a really great one that we don't see often. This minifigure has great printing all over with a beautiful continuation of the braid and pocket print from torso to hips to legs, with some foot printing rounding this figure out. I can't express how much this figure blew me away. And I feel like this figure goes unnoticed in this set, but this is a really good one. Ponda Baba is a character never before seen in LEGO, with a brand new head mold which looks quite goofy from the side but nonetheless works really well. This figure has a bright orange vest that pops, although I think the shirt underneath should be more white. And yes, the hand is removable. Again, this character has the knee-high black boots that would translate perfectly into a dual mold, just omitted from the figure. Finally, we have Garandon, aka the Imperial Spy. He has a really well done head, consisting of 3 pieces, a hood, a silver printless head, and a brand new piece that connects beneath the head which comes up and acts as the face. These 3 elements combine flawlessly. He's got an Imperial outfit on with a black cape. I think black legs would have captured the character more accurately, but grey looks good. Like most minifigure selections, there's going to be some figures that steal the show, and this set is exactly that at a larger scale. There are the underwhelming figures, the standard figures, the figures that hit their respective spot, and some characters that drive the set's price up post-retirement. I'd say these figures, as a whole, hold up present day, but they really could have been done better for the retail price, especially considering what they did for the previous Master Builder series set. To cut in before we move on to the build, the amount of spare pieces in this set is quite crazy. I got 4 extra blasters, which can give some figures an accessory if they don't already have one. Starting with the side builds, there are 2 land speeders, that being the Ubrikian 9000 and V35 land speeder. Having both of them in hand, the Ubrik is a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I feel like it doesn't show on camera though. Despite the fact that the Ubrik is quite small, it has a lot of stickers, 12. Placing these gets repetitive. Nonetheless, this pod is accurate and has an openable lid with a seat inside for Greedo, with a standard printed control panel. Greedo fits snugly in there. The V35 Speeder had some high expectations to live up to for me, and it really delivered. This thing has some fun building techniques that help create that sleek design. Underneath the model are some inverted tiles, allowing it to slide easily, making this not only a swooshable but slidable model. There are also visible green studs underneath, but they're for the most part hidden away. The windscreen piece is perfect and disconnects to reveal a spot for a figure, who kind of has to lie down in order to fit, meaning it's going to be tough for him to reach the sticker control panel. There are no printed pieces on this build, but there are less stickers on this than the Ubrick. Behind the front pilot seat there's a standing spot for another figure. Once you place them in, they look awesome and add to the build really well. I feel like this speeder build will be timeless. It looks so good and will probably easily hold up in another 5 years' time. Can't forget about the dewback in this set, which looks really great with that big molded piece. Something we don't see with rideable creatures present day, with a connected jaw piece that can move up and down with teeth, although the top of the mouth has no teeth, which looks a little odd. Up the top is a saddle which can seat your regular sand trooper, with an included pole accessory that is wildly oversized. I think LEGO include a spare leash or handle in every set in case the one in use gets bent out of shape over time, which is nice. What I love about the saddle is that it has 2 clips so that the sand trooper's accessories don't have to be lying around whilst riding the dewback. If you want your dewback to be free, you can remove the saddle and leash and put this included green topper on to make it a wild dewback. Be warned, it's difficult taking this green topper off. Nonetheless, I love these additions which make this side build customizable and fun. Moving past the creature and vehicle side builds, we have the included Jawa shop. This side build is made up of 2 detachable structures, and does a great job of adding a bit of Mos Eisley to the otherwise straight up cantina. Starting with the actual Jawa shop, the front has a really great cloth piece, with studs to place figures purchasing something. There's some scrap lying around at the side, with a printed Imperial crate with cargo written in Aurebesh. There are more of these lying around throughout the cantina. On the other side of the Jawa shop are some elements sticking out, hiding the turning pieces which allow the set to fold out to grant full access to the interior. This top round tan piece can also be lifted, although I find this section comes off easily. At the back is a door, identical to the ones in the cantina. It can be lifted up and this inverted brick on the inside can connect to another piece, allowing it to stay lifted, meaning your Jawa minifigure can then enter and sit down on this oddly placed chair. I don't know why it isn't just placed like this. Inside is a blaster, a broom, a pair of binoculars, a box with a wrench, a cup, and a clip for the Jawa's blaster. Moving on to this next building, there are clips on both sides to connect this to the Jawa shop and the cantina. There's some scrap at the front along with an open door with a sticker control panel. There are 2 roofs that are both quite detailed and removable. Inside is some more scrap with a hidden Kyber crystal, a really fun detail. Note, the Jawa shop and cantina can't attach to the opposite clips. These 2 buildings definitely add a lot of play to this set, and I think they have some great display value as well, allowing you to create your own Mos Eisley build, not just the cantina. Now onto the main event, the cantina. There are quite a few modular elements on the outside. Starting with them, we have a spot near the entrance of the cantina where the Jawa shop can clip in. This set can take up a lot of space. I love how it's modular though because it means this set can fit into smaller spaces. There's a pen for the dewback. The walls are quite short, but the water and bone are probably keeping the dewback from leaving. Yes, this is modular and could make a cool side piece to your desk. Although the wall of the cantina doesn't look as good with the pen gone, with the odd Technic pieces. There's a small moisture vaporator to the left of the dewback pen, also removable. Turning the set around, the opposite side of the cantina has this side area which can detach. Connected to this side area is a bigger moisture vaporator, the tallest part of this set. Much more bulky compared to the one next to the dewback pen. The top pole section of this bigger moisture vaporator falls off easily, which gets annoying. Other than that, both vaporators are sturdy and look great. Coming back to this side area, we have some boxes, containing contents like binoculars, a wrench, and white macro binoculars, along with an empty barrel and some other bits and bobs. I like how the modular elements can help in displaying or storing the set when low on space, although when removed, the cantina looks unfinished on the outside. Coming to the entrance of the cantina, it's built on a really nice angle and there's plenty of studs out the front to place some figures. There's a door that opens the same as the one from the Jawa shop, although is inaccurate because the door is meant to slide sideways, something that can't be captured in LEGO. This door has 2 sticker details, a control panel and sign that reads Cantina in Aurebesh. Although it's more the inside that's fun, the outside walls still look quite nice, with some windows and other pieces creating quite a nice aesthetic. The rear wall has some hinges which allow the model to open, along with Woohoo's storage room poking out, which has the third, final identical back door. It can open, who would have guessed, and has a really great control panel. There are 2 dome pieces at either end of the cantina and can both lift up, the same as the one on the Jawa shop. The rest of the roof is made up of removable sections, with 6 small sections connected with minimal studs which can be lifted to reveal the booths and other areas. The central open roof lies on top with no connection, making it easy to remove. Whilst in universe the roof would be solid, it's nice to be able to look through and see the bar, although it might pose the risk of dust coming into the interior. Now to open the cantina. It opens fairly easily. The only thing keeping the cantina connected is a Technic pin. Don't let that fool you because this model is still extremely sturdy and easy to pick up, as long as no modular elements are attached. Coming back to the cantina, there's no set way of how far you fold it out, but it can't go past 180 degrees. The cantina is built in 3 parts, with the 2 side booth areas and the bar in the middle. Coming to the first part, the entrance alcove is connected here. As you can see, there are some seats, one of which can spin, along with a droid scanner utilizing 2 stickers. There's a light above which kind of restricts access to this room from the roof above. There are these steps coming down from the entrance, which are cut in half. I'd like to say that, with the cantina open, the layout completely changes. As you can see, the stairs to enter go from touching to completely opposite ends. Right near the stairs are 2 small chairs. Kind of thrown on there, but more seating is good. In this corner, we have another Imperial crate with macro binoculars, as well as the booth where Obi-Wan and Han strike the deal to go to Alderaan. Where Luke is sitting is the only seat with no studs. What's annoying is some figures can't fit in booths, like Chewie. The rest of this first part is made up of 2 booths, practically identical and can seat 2 minifigures in each. Moving to the second booth area, it's more of the same, with some slight alterations. The corner booth can seat 2 less figures, although 1 can stand. No Imperial crate, and this other booth has a special feature. This is where Han and Greedo have their iconic Who Shot First scene, and the figures can actually be ejected by pushing the Technic pieces on the wall behind. Yes, you can still push down on them with the modular elements there, so you can decide who shot first. This final booth is replaced with a spot for the Cantina band, who stand in there nice and easily and look great. This second booth part isn't as bulky as the other booth side because of the entrance, but this booth area still has a bit of bulk with Woohoo's storage area. It can be accessed through the open door in between the bar and the Cantina band, or through the back door we saw earlier, which, with the Cantina open, fits perfectly in the middle, although it can get blocked by the smaller moisture vaporator when it's attached. Inside has some bits and bobs, with drinks, a broom, a removable section with a crate holding a drink and a box holding yet another pair of macro binoculars. And my favourite detail in here, this sign, not printed sadly, which has "Wanted" written in Aurebesh, a call out from the Empire to catch C-3PO and R2 as they have the Death Star plans. If only Wooher had seen this before denying their entrance to the bar. Can't blame him because it is tough to fit figures in here. I love how, when folding out the set, the storage room fits perfectly behind the final section, the bar. It's very well done with a white colour that pops and a pole that wraps around. In the centre are some shiny metallic and gold pieces and some drinks. There are plenty of studs for Wooher to walk around serving drinks. Up the back are more drinks and a control panel representing what I think is a cash register of some sort. Beneath this are 2 drawers. The bottom one is empty, but the top one has a bone inside, maybe for the dewback? There is this small sliding gate, so Wooher can exit the bar area, conveniently right next to the storage area. And that's the inside. I would have loved it if the bar had some studs on the outside so figures could actually stand next to the bar when it's folded out. Other than that, the inside of the cantina is just awesome. It looks great without figures, but you just can't beat the lively and fun vibe when the cantina is packed with figures. And it shuts just as easily as it opens. A note to take is, you can't really place figures in this 2-stud gap because when you shut the set they'll get pushed over by the bar. Comparing just the cantina, none of the modular elements or speeders, to the latest LEGO sets, its size, price-wise, certainly holds up. What makes this build is all of the side builds and fun details that all combine together in sweet harmony. The only off part of this build, in my opinion, is this area near the entrance, where the 2 booth sections clip together. Even so, it looks fine. Whilst this set is obviously figure focused with over 20 minifigures, the build still smacks. It's iconic, displayable, playable, and certainly holds up present day. In the end, this set undoubtedly holds up 5 years after its release. The only problem is the post-retirement increase in price that just doesn't make this set a great value. I wish LEGO made more of these Master Builder Series sets. Not to the extent of UCS sets, but at least one Master Builder Series set every 2 years would be great. I can think of a Kashyyyk battle or Jedi Temple that would be awesome. I'd rate this set a 9 out of 10 for retail price, and whilst I can't really give it a rating cost-wise post-retirement as the cost will change over time, for the current $200 bump, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Let me know your ratings in the comments. Thanks for watching until the end of the video. Now that you're here, you might as well like and subscribe. And make sure to leave a question in the comments to get featured in a Q&A video. If you want to keep up with the latest LEGO news and channel insight, make sure to follow us on Instagram. And I'll catch you in the next video.